All right. Good morning. Good morning. How we doing? Happy Tuesday. NQ, nice rally yesterday. Very nice follow through of Friday's bounce. We saw a continuation up into 25K, the 000. For today, pretty much what I want to see is how that same level, how the 25K is going to be treated, whether or not sellers are going to show up here and defend this point, kind of creating another lower high within this sequence of lower highs, or if buyers are gonna show a third consecutive day higher with a move up and through 25K, maybe even into 150, maybe even into the 300 360 area. This area is critical, the 300 and 360, because if price gets above that zone, it's gonna trigger a change of character. So that's a very important area up through there, last week's high. For positioning, today is really going to depend on how price responds to 25K and what we see off of the open. I do like 800 to attempt some longs. I do like the overnight low as well, pretty much same area. And then also I'd look at the 725 depending on what that structure looked like down there for a potential reversal. If we see this area kind of fail to hold, I'll be hands off with all longs. So no longs below this area until price gets down into here, down into the 400. So really, I'd like to see, I mean, best case scenario, overnight low holds as some support, maybe a spring type of setup. I'll definitely consider that with 800 level of interest just beneath. Let's see how that action actually unfolds. It is Tuesday of a holiday week. Yesterday, volume was very, very light. We did see some decent action early in the session, but volume nonetheless was incredibly light. If we go back and take a look at yesterday's session, I mean, look at this volume. It's well below average. This kind of this is to be expected here on a holiday week. So I'm expecting more of that today, even potentially even less so. And then Wednesday, of course, will also be extra light. Friday, I would recommend not trading. I will not be trading on Friday. The market is open for a half day. But enjoy the time with your family, enjoy the day off. It's not going to be worth it if you ask me. We got about 90 seconds until the open. Can see that the bot is already making money this morning. Let's go. APT. APT is going to be marked down for Black Friday weekend. We do still, assuming there are still licenses left, because we do have a hard cap. So if you're interested in that, I'd definitely recommend jumping on it on Friday. Don't wait till Monday when we'll be closing up the sale. All right, little less than 1 minute till the open. So NQ just shy of that overnight low here. I'm going to be looking at overnight low, 800 level of interest. If buyers kind of fail this zone, we can expect, remember this level from yesterday, last week's volume point of control, 724 to trade. ABT bot is on the PTG page on the website. Yeah, it's on the website. Yep. You'll find it there on the website. Autopilot trader in the header there on the main website. All right, let's see this open. Here we go. Opening print about 858 or so. Google tapping into Nvidia market share. What's that? I didn't see anything about that. Here comes the overnight low. A little bit of a push right there. Just a little bit. See if 800 actually wants to trade. Decent volume right off the open. That's good to see. RTY up into overnight high. Wow, that was a nice move on RTY from prior day high and VWAP. And ES is into session highs. NQ just bumping into 855. Session volume point of control right there from the extended hours. I did actually try it, but I made a little mistake with my exit. So I'm already out, unfortunately. Had a misclick there when I was adjusting my stop. That's how she goes. Question is, do you re-enter after you make a mistake? For me, no. Rather not. That can just be a slippery slope. But that was the spring setup, overnight low spring setup. Talked about it. Look at the volume here on NASDAQ. It's already very low. And by very low, I mean about 50% of the average right now for this time of day. ES into prior day volume point of control. NASDAQ working on these session highs. Spring idea. There's your first target. Session highs for the spring idea. Overnight low spring. Choppy open, choppy, choppy, choppy. Nothing happening here. There you go. NQ coming back into the lows. So it cannot make a new high of day. There's your fresh low on the session. See how that 800 is going to be treated. 24,800. Looks like no bid. No bid. Uptick in volume. So 724 is your downside level to watch. Last week's volume point of control. Got prior day value area low right in that area as well. A little consolidation here near 800. Let's see. Yeah, just knocked right back down at 800. And ES coming into the lows as well. Getting into 724. Gabe got the short. Nice work. ES coming into 6,700. Overnight low. So 724. I'd wait for the second entry here. Not going to go after any reversal. Good volume coming in though. Still just with my one scalp this morning. That was the overnight low spring setup. New low of day. That's why I wanted to wait for the second entry right there. Got your pre 10 a.m. directional move showing continuation. Anytime you have price kind of breaking in a directional way ahead of 10 a.m., those reversals are going to be dicey until post 10 a.m. So I like to wait for the second entry. I'd mentioned the second entry. There's just going to be let the low develop and then let some higher low materialize. About hit all 3 TP. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That should put my next APT eval into funded. Hands free, baby. We have some good volume now. So that's encouraging. You guys are going for prior day low. Yeah, I mean that's really the next spot here. I'm all hands off until either one of a few different scenarios, post 10 a.m. or a test of the weekly open and the 400 level of interest, or some reclaim of 724 with like a second entry sort of setup. About 11 minutes till 10 a.m. Really good volume here. It's great to see. Buyers like that 600 there with big volume. I have no levels, so can't engage. We're just making a mental note. 24 600. That's Friday's high. Okay. Little prior day structure point as well. Right through here. So I'll be keeping an eye on 724 now per plan. Which loosely aligns with the 50% fib intraday. There's 724, 50% fib, great volume this morning. So buyers can reclaim this point and then offer some market structure. I would be interested in that. RTY coming back into session highs. ES retesting the 6,700. Volatility still here. 880 into 600 low. Well, no entry that I saw through there personally. Don't know about y'all. 61% fib. It was almost a little retest of the 725 right there, but it felt a little too forced, so avoided that. Talking about basically right here, breaks above, comes back. Mm. So the idea would be buy on, that would be like your second entry right there. Meh. Rather wait for an easier trade. Rather wait for that easy money. Here comes a retest at 800. It was a nice bounce from the 600. Like I said, didn't have a level there, so can't engage. You got RTY just on a mission. Retest a prior day high up into session highs now. Here's overnight low for NASDAQ. So 800 overnight low stays on watch. Got VWAP right through here. And this area is also interesting. Like I said, I would have considered a second entry near 724. I think that was that red bar right there. It's just not clean enough, so pass on it. Still just with the one little tiny scalp this morning, the overnight low spring setup. I'm just chilling, staying patient. Look at that 2 hour bar. Let's see the hourly. So this is tricky right here because sellers are definitely interested in forcing this into another lower high. Hmm. There's your rejection at 800. Overnight low, VWAP area, good confluence in that zone. And back in a 725. How we doing? Anyone grab that short? Nice few. You got that. Crispy's up 1500. Nice work. Crispy stays printing. Make sure you pay yourself, Mr. Crispy. Oh, nice, Gabe. That happened to me a few times with Tradeify. You got to get their. Actually, I don't even think they offer it anymore. But their advanced accounts don't have the same daily loss, or just drop your multiplier on those accounts. Trade a little lighter. So I'll keep an eye on 600. See how that area is going to be treated. The short is probably play of the morning so far, right here. Level of interest, double reference point with overnight low and VWAP, bearish backdrop. Okay, here's 725 again. Let's see how this area is going to build. See, I wish that this makes it tough structure right here because I want the structure to align more closely with the level I'm watching. Otherwise, if I'm going to enter, I want to enter in alignment with the level, which puts the entry up here, 730, and then the stop is like 80 points lower. So you can't do that. So then you just got to wait. All right, see you, Gabe. Back into 800. So intraday, you have two pretty significant structural points to work with right through here, and then this other one down through here. See how this continues to build out. Surprisingly nice open for a holiday week. Yeah, agreed. ES is testing that same lower high. RTY is just into session highs on its own. Okay. Volume's staying really solid. Above average for now. It's good to see. Can 725 hold? Can it hold? So intraday structure is compressing a bit. Same with ES. Still an inside day, of course. Very wide inside day, but nonetheless, Structures are wide with not great entries. Yeah, I would agree 100% with that. Did try that 725 there. We'll see. I still got a runner out. Trail just about break even. See if we get the break of 800. Really don't love this location. And there's the trail. All right, all right. Meh. Meh. So really what I would want to see here is action above 800. If I could get an entry above this point with structure. So basically, there's your entry right in there. Or honestly, down into, I would watch 600 simply because, even though I don't have a level there, simply because the significance of the bounce from that point and the volume. So you could keep an eye on like a spring setup down there, but really mostly interested in starting to get into this zone down through here. Prior day low. It's basically a 100-point zone, unfortunately, but got volatile markets right now. So looking at that spot. What's tough about the longs right now is sellers are trying to force this into another lower high. So without that higher time frame confirmation, it's just a little sticky, a little tricky. Crispy, nice. Post up in Windwall once you secure that payout. Well done. Congrats. 45 minutes into the morning, it's been a fairly uneventful session on my end, despite the movement in the index. That's how it goes sometimes. And volume is starting to taper off a bit, so we're seeing more compression with this intraday structure. Black Friday for PTG subscriptions. Yeah, everything will be marked down. It'll be live Friday through Monday. And if you're an existing member, you can upgrade to like an annual package or something like that to lock in some savings if you like. Also, this will be the last weekend that any of my one-on-one coaching offering will be available ever. Getting out of the coaching game, retiring. I want to shift my focus more to automation, so it's kind of the 2 to 3 year pipeline for me personally. More automation. Retiring coaching will retire automation, then go down your own prop firm or broker? Nah, probably not. No plans for a prop firm or broker. That would be crazy. Retiring the automation, I mean, I just launched it. I did just launch it, so I don't see myself retiring it anytime soon. At least not for me personally. Maybe the annual licenses will change the fee structure or something, but we're just getting going with automation. Rug it all? Nah, not a rug puller. Not a rug puller. No rug pulling. I mean, PTG, if you include Opinicus, this thing is 8 years old now. If I was gonna rug, I would have done that. Probably wouldn't have spent 8 years building it up. But no, the automation's been good. The the member cap we have will help. The main thing I would worry about is just edge erosion, but considering most of the users are using prop firms, probably not going to be an issue. And then we'll just have to see how my patience, my own patience, continues to develop for some of the questions I get. But so long as that continues to hold, we'll be solid. Working on a few other, well, I wouldn't say a few other, I'm working on the next strategy for APT. The goal is to automate pretty much all of my strategies, but the 2 hour trader alone took a year and a half. And if you know the 2 hour trader, you know that's a very basic strategy. So some of the other ones like spring setups and some of the more complex strategies are going to take more time. Yeah, the spring will be next up. It's the next one in the works. Yes, the mean reversion strategy is going to complement the current APT setup quite nicely. So that's the next logical move. NQ back into 725. I'm not taking fresh entries here until price kind of leaves this area. Try it once and it doesn't do what you want. That's like your sign. How many times are you gonna hit that thing? Especially with the kind of 1 minute lower highs developing. Josh, as of right now, it'd be included. There may be an option in the future when it's actually ready for separate strategies. But that's like far, far out. That's just an idea right now. But anyone that has an APT license right now would be grandfathered into any future releases. Might be time to call it here shortly. Let's see these next 10 minutes. 5 minutes just showing us barcode. So the intraday structure continues to compress. It's just getting tighter. TMG has moved to today, by the way. It's usually on Thursday, the coaching call. Group coaching call will be after the close today in the Traders Think Tank. Probably going to be a quick one. But jump in there if you like. We'll be live in the think tank 10 to 15 minutes after the close today. You can see the compression here on the 15-minute as well. Inside bar, and then another inside bar. So let's see if we get a break of this structure shortly here. Otherwise, I would expect just low volume drift for the rest of the day. There's a little push. Okay. Challenge right now is all you have all this intraday resistance and then of course the level of interest, overnight low and VWAP right through there as well. Okay, so 800 stays on watch. See if we get the break above with a hold. Let's price into that most recent lower high right through there. What is that exact value? 828. ES attempting to break that same structure point. So ES coming into session highs, holding above that lower high, and then RTY into session highs as well. We'll see if NQ can break this 828. Nope. So rejection. So I like to see price clear that area, then come back and retest. Yeah, this might be the range for today. A little rejection right there. On that note, I think I'll call it. So I'll be interested late morning trades. If we get some action above this zone right through here, holding above that area. Otherwise, honestly, I'll wait for. I'll watch any reaction at 600 or down into, like I said, prior day low, this zone. Till then, we're chilling with our two scalps, 2 for 2 on the day. Nothing to really write home about, but we'll take it. Followed our plan, respected our rules. And that's all you can do. So thanks for your time, everyone. Hope you had a good morning. We'll be live again tomorrow. We're going to be live in the Traders Think Tank after the close today. And then we are off for rest of the week. Thursday, Friday, Thanksgiving. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll see you tomorrow morning. Take care.